I was in Vancouver last week for a book launch of sorts. It was an evening with Geddy Lee and sort of featuring his latest book, which is an autobiography called My Effing Life. And it struck me during that presentation, during that interview, Jan Arden was the person who interviewed him, and she was hilarious and did a great job. But if you don't know who Geddy Lee is, he was the bass player and the lead singer for Rush. Alex Lifeson, guitarist, and Neil Peart sadly, he passed away a couple of years ago, the drummer and lyricist for the band. And those three guys achieved some incredible success, 40 plus years together. I don't know too many bands who can claim that, who can live with each other, forget about continue to make music for 40 years. But these guys certainly did. And what struck me during the interview and while he was telling stories was that the fuel, if you will, the motivation of these three guys to do what they did was what science would consider the highest forms of motivation. They used mastery and service as their reasons, consciously or unconsciously, to become better musicians, right? They were all about mastering their craft. In fact, he shared that they would write music that was beyond their present scope of ability, so that they had to reach in order to record the music the songs they wanted to record. So they would go into an album perhaps not having the chops to be able to perform the songs, but they were determined to learn them, and did, and then recorded them. And they did that album after album in the early 70s and 80s. And just doing that, no doubt, allowed them to become these to master their craft, right? This continuous pursuit of getting better. And then this notion of service, as he shared, they were all about contributing to the band, to serving one another in that band. They didn't play for the record label executives. They didn't play for top 40 radio. They played for themselves. They played for each other. They were true to the music they wanted to play. The byproduct of that was a career that, goodness, I don't know too many bands could claim. And the accolades and the awards, the platinum albums, induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, all of these incredible things that then one might think would have been the fuel at the start. Certainly in Western culture, we often hear the notion of keeping the eye on the prize. And perhaps for a lot of young musicians, when they start out, it's, I want to be famous. I want to make a lot of money. I want to tour. I want, right? I want all these things. But it's interesting in their description of what fueled them through the 40 years, that played no role in it. There was no reward and reputation in any of their motivation. It was all about mastery and service. And, it kind of knocked me across the head when I'm sitting there listening to this interview. High performance is high performance. It doesn't matter if it's sport or business or education or coaching or music, right? Or the performing arts, obviously. But, I often just talk about sports or business or what have you. And so, to have this guy get up there and, without using the term high performance, really lay it out as to how they became such world-class musicians. It was just obvious when it sort of landed for me. Well, of course that's how they achieved it. So, your mindset matters. Well, clearly it did for these guys. As young teens, early 20s, starting out in the rock and roll business, goodness, you get the stories that he shared were they were incredible, as you can well imagine. But something kept them together. Something kept them going, and it was that mastery and service in pursuit of that allowed them to really accomplish what they did, which in itself, goodness, the respect that these three have garnered throughout their careers is nothing short of remarkable. So anyhow, something to consider for sure. And if you're looking for a Christmas gift, might be something if you've got a rock fan on your Christmas list. So yeah. Anyhow, take care of yourselves, share the love, and we'll see you again next week. Okay, bye everybody.